Now in Los Angeles is Don Schweitzer, who's a criminal defense attorney, and here in Studio B is Lise Wheel, former federal prosecutor and Fox News legal analyst. And Lise, let me start with you, because I was under the impression that the Iraqis are really running the show here when it comes to the case against Saddam. Why is our Justice Department so involved with hiring experts?
Well, don't forget, all these experts are actually, I hate to make a pun of it, digging up the evidence. They're not making evidence up. They're not telling the Iraqis what to do. They're just keeping the evidence in a way that is not going to be soiled or contaminated by amateurs actually going in there not what they're doing. But this is not the U.S. trying to grab control from Iraq at all. Well,
what do you say, Mr. Schweitzer?
The exact opposite, unfortunately. I think that Iraq has no control over the criminal proceedings, as evidenced by the fact that there's no trial date on calendar, but the Iraqi government is saying that the trial is going to start before January 1st. They don't have a clue as to when this trial is going to start. The U.S. is in control, and it's a sad thing because the U.S. has to give the impression that the Iraqi government is going to try this man by themselves in a fair way.
But you know as well as I do that in a lot of big high-profile cases, there are many jurisdictions that are involved in the state and federal government. If you've got a big case in a small state, for example, the state will call out and say, hey, you know, feds, can you help us? And others, I mean,
well,
this happens all the time. It's just sharing of information. It's not that we're taking over the trial at all.
Well, the problem is that the trial apparently is delayed, and the United States taking time to identify bones and mass graves. That could take for years. Time is of the essence here, and the facts are pretty simple. With the proper collection of witnesses, this case could be proven way beyond a reasonable doubt. The problem that the United States has here is showing the world that this is not the United States versus Saddam Hussein. This is about Saddam Hussein versus crimes of humanity, and that could be proved very easily. Just turn on a TV set, look at him bombing Israel, look at him crossing into Kuwait with his troops.
All right.
Look at the people.
Let me jump in here, Don, and ask Lise, if you're working at the U.S. Justice Department and you're sort of helping the Iraqis as they prepare to prosecute Saddam Hussein, how much confidence do you have in this brand new Iraqi legal system?
You know, maybe not all the confidence in the world. Let's be totally blunt about it. But, I mean, we do have to hand it over. We do have to let them try this case. I think it is okay that we can help them with, you know, digging up the evidence, putting things together, help them out. And even if we don't have complete confidence in their legal structure, in their legal system, it's a fledgling one, that's true.
Right.
We do have to give them the power to actually try Saddam. But I don't think any of this needs to be rushed. And as a prosecutor, I know there is no such thing as a slam dunk kind of case.
So when Donald says time is of the essence, you don't buy that?
Time is the essence, absolutely. But due process, both Saddam Hussein's due process is at stake here, and also the fact that the prosecutors, whatever amalgamation they are, want to take the time necessary to put together that case because, you know, they don't know what the defense is going to be.
Donald, how about that? Take our time and let's get it right.
Okay. The problem with that is this is not an American trial. We don't even know if the Iraqi government has rules of evidence or the ability to try this in the American fashion and jurisprudence. This is going to be a case that's a little simpler than everybody thinks. I think that if you collect the proper witnesses, put this case on, there's going to be more evidence possible. By the way, there's more evidence against Saddam Hussein that you could possibly present. It would take years to put on all the evidence in this case.
You're a good defense lawyer. You know that you're going to come up with something which actually comes to trial. You're going to try to put something that's going, some other alternative theory, and the prosecutors are doing their job if they take the time to put together the case so that they can actually defend against someone like you who's going to come in and come up with some sort of theory.
Yeah. Like what?
You know, Donald, I don't know. I mean, what could you possibly say to defend this guy? I agree. I mean, but there might be some procedural defenses. You know, the prosecutors have to be doing their job to be thinking through and not rushing on this so fast that they miss something that you defense lawyers would come back and throw at them.
All right, Don, put on your criminal defense attorney's hat for just a moment, Donald, and we have about 35 seconds left. Tell us, what might be a good line of strategy for the Saddam defense team?
Push the trial now. What has already been said is true, that the more time a prosecution has to collect evidence, build a case, the stronger their case gets. Right now, Saddam Hussein should go to trial. He should demand it right now. He's been in custody. Demand it because the case isn't put together, and his best chances of beating any of these charges is now, not later.
Well, and the other defense, of course, is that he can blame everybody else. I didn't really know what was doing. These are terrible things. I certainly wasn't the one controlling. There were a lot of henchmen below me that I had no idea what they were doing. That's the kind of defense to look for.
Well, we'll see what happens, and we'll see how quickly this begins to happen. Donald Schweitzer, Lise Wheel, thank you both. Appreciate it.